Hi, welcome to FinFlow Podcast. Today we're doing the deep dive, unpacking lucrative, underrated remote careers. Okay, let's unpack this. We all have that image in our heads, don't we? Scrolling through social media, seeing those glamorous remote jobs, the digital nomads sipping lattes in Bali, right? The creative directors with these stunning portfolios, the marketing gurus building empires online. It's the dream. The perfect work from home scenario. Exciting, high paying, honestly visually captivating. It looks great on Instagram. But here's the surprising truth, and it's a really powerful one if you're thinking about your career path. What if the truly lucrative remote opportunities, the ones that are consistently always hiring, often pay incredibly well and will absolutely wake up your bank account? What if they're actually the ones nobody talks about? The ones that might frankly sound a bit, well, boring.
It does sound counterintuitive, doesn't it? But it's something we see playing out again and again in the remote work landscape.
Exactly. Can seemingly unglamorous, maybe boring work truly lead to a thriving bank account and, rock solid career stability, especially when companies are desperate to hire for these roles?
That's the core question. And the answer seems to be a resounding yes.
So we're about to take a deep dive into 9 specific remote roles that really defy expectations. They might not be the TikTok famous dream jobs.
Definitely not the ones getting millions of views.
Right. And they might not even require a college degree or extensive prior experience in many cases. But, and this is the key, they are absolutely essential functions that businesses just cannot operate without.
That indispensability is the crucial factor.
And that indispensable nature translates directly into high demand and often surprisingly low competition for talent. It's this fascinating hidden corner of the job market, and we're going to illuminate it for you today.
What's truly fascinating here, I think, is how often the greatest, most stable opportunities lie precisely where others just aren't looking. We live in a world where, everyone seems to be chasing the same perceived glamorous roles, and that leads to immense competition, often high stress, and frankly, burnout for a lot of people.
Totally. You see the same advice everywhere.
Exactly. Yeah. But the remote work landscape is vast, it's constantly evolving, and many absolutely essential sort of behind-the-scenes functions are critically understaffed. This creates significant, often recession-proof opportunities for those willing to look past the surface shine and consider roles that fulfill fundamental business needs.
So these aren't just side jobs?
No, not at all. These aren't just jobs. These are the core operational pillars that allow businesses to survive and thrive. And that constant critical demand leads to surprisingly low competition for individuals who understand the inherent value they bring. So we'll be breaking down each of these roles in detail. We'll explore not just what they are, but why they are so crucial, what they genuinely pay, not just the hype, what a typical day might actually look like, and importantly, what kind of person truly thrives in them.
Right, giving you a crystal clear picture of paths you might never have even considered before.
Exactly. It's about discovering how these seemingly unexciting roles can truly, as you said, wake up your bank account and provide remarkable career security.
Okay, let's dive into our first unexpected gem. And I'll give you a heads up. This one starts off on a rather somber note, but it's undeniably real. We're talking about a funeral sales specialist.
Yeah, that one definitely gets a reaction.
Right. Your immediate thought might be morbid, boring. Why would I ever want to do that remotely? And yeah, it can sound that way, but the undeniable reality and the absolute foundation of its stability is that people are always, always going to need these services.
It's a fundamental human reality.
It's truly a recession-proof job. Just like that old saying goes, death and taxes are the only certainties, right? Someone have to step into this space, and increasingly they can actually do it from the comfort of their own home.
The remote aspect is relatively new, but growing fast in this field.
So in this role, your primary responsibility is selling funeral packages and services. Now, this often involves working directly with funeral homes, assisting them in preparing, custom arrangements for families. But it also extends to helping families themselves pre-plan arrangements, understand all the various options available, and there are a lot and manage costs during what is arguably one of the most sensitive and difficult times of their lives.
And doing all of that remotely adds another layer.
Exactly. You're doing all of this typically from a remote office. It's definitely not about door-to-door sales or high-pressure tactics. It's supposed to be about compassionate, informed guidance.
And if we connect this to the bigger picture, this role perfectly exemplifies how fundamental human needs, even profoundly uncomfortable ones like, processing loss and dealing with death, create incredibly stable and essential economic opportunities. It's a necessary service deeply rooted in human experience and societal rituals. That ensures a constant, unwavering demand, regardless of economic ups and downs, market fluctuations, or even technological shifts.
It's always there.
Always. And this raises an important question for all of us, I think. Are we as a society maybe overlooking genuinely lucrative and stable career paths simply because of a perception of discomfort? Or because the industry itself might make us feel a bit uneasy?
That's a really powerful point. The taboo around it creates the opportunity.
Precisely. The emotional aspect is a very real challenge, no doubt about it. But the demand for the service is absolute, creating this unique gap between the necessity of the role and the available talent pool willing to step into it.
Yeah, that's such a crucial point. It's definitely not a job most people actively seek out, and that's exactly where the opportunity lies for those who are willing. You might initially think of it maybe like being a wedding planner. You're organizing a significant life event.
I can see the comparison in terms of event planning.
Right, but let's be absolutely clear. It's a totally different type of ceremony, obviously, with profoundly different emotional stakes, completely different vibe.
Worlds apart, emotional.
Worlds apart. Yet the principle of organizing, guiding people through complex decisions, and providing crucial support during a significant life transition, that core function is absolutely there. Now, in terms of compensation, the base pay for a funeral sales specialist typically starts around $54,000 annually, which is, a solid starting point.
It's a decent base, yes.
But here's where it gets really interesting. Because of the commission structure common in these roles, top performers can push that up significantly. They're often reaching $86,000 a year and sometimes much, much higher.
Indeed. And we've seen fascinating evidence of this high potential. I recall a really compelling anecdote from, I think it was a Reddit discussion, where a specialist shared their experience. They mentioned making over $120,000 in their very first year.
Wow, first year.
First year. And their secret, they said, wasn't aggressive sales tactics at all. It was a profound commitment to being compassionate, empathetic, and genuinely supportive with the families they worked with, focusing on their needs rather than pushing, the most expensive packages.
So empathy actually pays.
In this field, absolutely. It demonstrates that success here isn't about being a typical salesperson. It's about being a trusted advisor during an incredibly vulnerable time. That's a key differentiator, and it's why genuine empathy is so vital. That approach creates a high-trust environment, leading to better outcomes for the families and ultimately for the specialist commission, too.
That makes perfect sense. And this leads directly to why the barrier to entry is surprisingly low, considering the pay potential. Because of that inherent discomfort many people feel about the industry, there's just a significantly smaller pool of competition applying for these jobs.
The discomfort filters out a lot of potential applicants.
Exactly. So in many cases, companies are less concerned with a specific college degree or like years of prior sales experience. They're more focused on your willingness to engage with the industry's unique demands and, crucially, your ability to cultivate the right skills.
And what are those key skills, really?
Well, number one, of course, is empathy, and we mean lots of it. Genuine, deep empathy. You also need a truly tough skin because, let's be real, it can be emotionally challenging and mentally draining.
Dealing with grief daily is incredibly taxing.
Absolutely. You'll encounter raw grief, difficult family dynamics, sometimes conflicts, and just the intense, complex emotions that come with profound loss. It's not just about guiding decisions, it's about holding space for profound human experience, which requires immense emotional fortitude and resilience.
It's a unique kind of strength.
It really is. And finally, strong, clear, and very sensitive communication skills are paramount. It's not a pushy sales job. It's about being supportive, understanding, and providing clarity during a time that feels like chaos for the family.
This truly highlights a crucial point that's often overlooked in career planning. Sometimes the most valuable and in-demand skills are the human ones. We talk so much about tech skills, but emotional intelligence, resilience, and compassionate communication are absolutely indispensable in this sector.
That's a great way to put it.
And the stability and growth of this field are undeniable, particularly with an aging global population, guaranteeing continued demand for these essential services. It's baked in demographically. However, it's vital to acknowledge the significant emotional and mental toll this work can take. It requires a profound understanding of grief and the ability to maintain unwavering professionalism in extraordinarily difficult circumstances.
It's definitely not for everyone.
Not at all. But for those who possess that unique blend of emotional strength and a service-oriented mindset, the high opportunity score we'd give it may be an 8.5 out of 10. truly reflects the robust demand and that minimal competition. It makes it a compelling, albeit emotionally demanding option. It's a testament to finding immense value in meeting fundamental human needs.
Okay, pivoting from the profoundly human to the quietly technical, our next underrated remote career is a user manual writer, or more formally, often called a technical writer.
Ah, yes, the unsung heroes of product usability.
Right. Now, if you've ever unboxed a new gadget, downloaded some new software, or tried to assemble a piece of IKEA furniture, you've probably encountered those instruction manuals.
Or maybe glance at them briefly before giving up.
Exactly. And let's be honest, most people, myself included sometimes, never actually read them thoroughly. So you might wonder, who writes these things if nobody reads them, and why is that even important?
It's a fair question, given how often they're ignored.
Well, this role is far more critical and impactful than you might imagine, and it's consistently in demand, especially with tech expanding like crazy. As a user manual writer, your core job is to create clear, concise documentation for a huge array of products, software, and services. This involves taking incredibly complex, often highly technical information stuff written by engineers or developers and breaking it down into simple, actionable, understandable steps for the end user.
You're the breach.
Exactly. Think of yourself as a crucial translator between the specialized language of, let's say, tech nerds or engineers and the everyday language of normal human beings. You're building that bridge of understanding so people can actually use the thing.
And preventing a lot of customer support calls in the process.
Absolutely. And the beauty of it is this entire process, the research, understanding the product, the writing, the editing, getting diagrams made, can often be done completely from the comfort of your home office.
This role isn't merely about writing, though. It's about a profound understanding of clarity and its immense value in an increasingly complex world. As technology continues its relentless expansion, new products, new software features, new platforms emerging daily, the need for intuitive and understandable interfaces and instructions only grows exponentially.
It seems like it would have to.
It does. Without clear, well-structured documentation, even the most innovative and groundbreaking products can become unusable. That leads to user frustration, increased support costs for companies which they hate, and ultimately, product abandonment. People just give up.
Yeah, I've definitely abandoned apps that were too confusing.
We all have. So this isn't just a quiet contribution, it's a foundational one to user experience and product adoption. It underscores how bridging knowledge gaps and making intricate systems accessible is a critical and highly valuable skill set across virtually every industry now.
And the compensation for this quiet importance, it reflects its critical nature. Even at an entry level, the salary for a user manual writer typically starts around $47,000 annually.
That's a solid starting point for an entry-level writing role.
It is. But with experience and, crucially, a solid portfolio showing you can do the work, that can steadily climb to $76,000 a year, or even higher for specialized fields like medical devices or complex software, or for senior roles.
Experience and specialization really push the salary up.
Definitely. We even had a fascinating anecdote from one of our subscribers who landed this exact job with absolutely zero prior professional experience.
How did they manage that?
While they were strategic, they took an online technical writing course to learn the fundamentals and the tools, and then, importantly, they proactively built a strong portfolio of sample documentation, like rewriting confusing manuals for products they owned or creating guides for open source software.
So they demonstrated this skill even without the job history.
Exactly, they showed, didn't just tell. And now they report making $65,000 a year, working approximately 25 hours a week, which truly highlights the potential for excellent work-life balance and a substantial income without needing, years of traditional corporate experience first.
That anecdote is quite telling, isn't it? It powerfully demonstrates that a traditional four-year degree isn't always the sole pathway to these high-value roles. Practical skills, demonstrated through a well-curated portfolio and specialized training, can absolutely open doors.
It really shifts the focus to demonstrable skills.
It does. And the pros you've mentioned, the steady workflow, the quiet and independent nature of the work, and the consistent growth of the field alongside tech expansion make it a highly attractive option for individuals who thrive in focused autonomous environments. However, it's essential to consider the cons too. The work can be repetitive, documenting similar features or products, and it demands extreme attention to detail.
Oh, I can imagine. One wrong step in instructions could be bad.
Exactly. Errors in a user manual can lead to significant user frustration, product misuse, or even safety hazards in some cases. So meticulous accuracy is absolutely paramount. You can't be sloppy.
Lives could literally depend on it in some fields.
Potentially, yes. And of course, there are often tight deadlines, especially when products are nearing launch and the documentation is the last piece needed.
Right, the classic pre-launch crunch. So it's a role that requires a truly meticulous mind and a dedication to precision. The key skills are that unwavering, clear writing ability, simple, direct language, and almost obsessive attention to detail.
Obsessive is probably the right word.
Yeah. A basic technical understanding of the products you're documenting, you have to understand it to explain it. And a great deal of patience, both with the technology and the process of refinement.
Patience is key when dealing with complex info and multiple revisions.
The cons, as you mentioned, include the potential for repetitiveness and dealing with those tight deadlines that can feel like a real pressure cooker. But honestly, for the right person, someone who enjoys the precision of language, the challenge of simplifying complexity, and the satisfaction of bringing order to information, these aren't really cons, they're just part of the job's nature.
They might even be appealing aspects for certain personalities.
Exactly. So we give this one an opportunity score of a solid 7.5 out of 10. There's consistently high demand in the rapidly expanding tech sector and relatively low competition because, as you might expect, many people perceive it as being about as exciting as, well, watching paint dry.
The boring factor strikes again.
It does, but for those who embrace that quiet precision, it's a potential goldmine.
And that perception gap is precisely where the substantial opportunity lies. While some might find it monotonous, others will discover deep satisfaction and intellectual challenge in bringing order and clarity to complex information. They directly impact user satisfaction and product success. This isn't just a niche skill. It's fundamental for successful user adoption, efficient product use, and ultimately a company's reputation. It creates a stable, growing career path for those with a knack for precision, logical thinking, and clear communication.
Now let's shift gears to something that might deeply appeal to the analytical minds out there, the folks who love numbers, the self-proclaimed math nerds. We're talking about a statistics validator.
Ooh, this sounds intriguing, like a data detective.
Exactly. You know those ubiquitous statistics that just bombard us everywhere? 9 out of 10 dentists recommend XYZ toothpaste, right? Or our product increases efficiency by 30%, or studies show 85% of users improve their workflow using our software.
They're everywhere in advertising and marketing.
Everywhere. Have you ever stopped to genuinely wonder who actually verifies those numbers? Who ensures they're not just, made up or based on flawed methodology or maybe cherry-picked data?
It's a critical question, especially with how much we rely on data.
Right. That's precisely what a statistics validator does, and it's an increasingly critical remote role in our data-saturated world. As a statistics validator, your core task is to meticulously analyze data for accuracy, validity, and methodological soundness. You're checking research designs, scrutinizing data collection methods, sample sizes, statistical tests used, the whole 9 yards.
Digging deep into the methodology.
Deep. And ensuring that companies aren't making false, misleading, or unsubstantiated claims in their marketing, their public statements, or even their internal reports. Think of it like being a detective, as you said, but instead of solving crimes, you're solving complex math problems and ensuring data integrity.
So you're the gatekeeper of statistical truth.
Pretty much. You're the gatekeeper of truth in a data-driven world, which has profound implications for businesses and consumers alike.
And this raises a truly important question about trust, accountability, and ethical practices in the digital age. In a world awash with an ever-increasing deluge of data and statistics, the ability to rigorously verify and validate information isn't just some niche skill. It's becoming a foundational pillar for ethical business practices.
You need someone checking the checkers, almost.
Exactly. It's crucial for consumer protection and for maintaining public confidence. Companies are under immense pressure to ensure the veracity of their claims, especially in advertising and public relations. Why? Because a single wrong, misleading, or unsubstantiated statistic, it can lead to millions, sometimes tens of millions, in lawsuits from competitors or regulators.
It's a huge legal risk.
Huge, not to mention regulatory fines and just irreparable reputational damage. If you're caught lying with stats, good luck rebuilding that trust. So it's a quiet role, but an incredibly powerful force for truth and ethical data usage, protecting both the consumer and the company's very existence.
And the pay for this kind of rigorous detective work, it reflects that immense value in risk mitigation. A statistics validator can expect to start at around $40,000 annually.
Okay, that starting point seems a bit lower than some others.
It can be, depending on the industry and exact requirements. But with experience and a proven track record of meticulous validation, that can quickly reach up to $64,000 annually. And crucially, many roles also offer performance bonuses for successful project completion, particularly when validating high-stakes claims for major campaigns.
Ah, the bonuses make a difference.
They really can. As you highlighted, companies are absolutely desperate for these roles for the very reasons you mentioned. Protecting against legal action and preserving their reputation. They need this function. The key skills needed are obviously strong analytical abilities, a solid and nuanced understanding of statistical knowledge and methodologies. You need to know your p-values from your confidence intervals.
Definitely need the stats background.
Keen and unwavering attention to detail to spot even subtle discrepancies or flaws in reasoning. And while not always strictly required, some basic programming knowledge, perhaps in languages like Python or R, can be incredibly helpful for data manipulation and running validation analyses.
Makes sense. Being able to script checks would speed things up.
For sure.
The why behind the consistent demand here is crystal clear then. It's all about legal liability and reputational risk. Businesses simply cannot afford to make unsubstantiated or flawed claims in today's highly regulated and, let's face it, litigious environment. So for those with a natural aptitude for numbers, a methodical approach to problem solving, and a deep-seated enjoyment of critical thinking, this role offers incredibly stable work hours and often minimal client interaction, which can be a huge plus for introverts or those who prefer deep, focused work.
Yeah, that minimal client interaction is a big draw for some people.
Absolutely. However, the cons are important to acknowledge. The work can be monotonous if you don't genuinely enjoy deep statistical analysis day in, day out. It requires constant, intense focus to ensure accuracy. You can't afford to miss things. And there's often significant deadline pressure, especially when validating claims for high-profile campaigns that are about to launch.
Got to get it right before the ad goes live.
Precisely. It's a job truly designed for those who enjoy diving deep into data, dissecting it, questioning it, and verifying its absolute accuracy.
Absolutely. The pros are definitely for those who truly embrace being math nerds, offering those stable work hours and often very limited direct client interaction, making it ideal for focused work. The cons, as you've laid out, include the work potentially being monotonous for some, the requirement for constant, unwavering focus, and the pressure of strict deadlines.
But again, maybe challenges more than cons for the right fit.
Right, exactly. For the right person, these aren't necessarily deal breakers. They're challenges that provide a sense of deep satisfaction when you correctly validate something complex or catch a critical error. We give this one a strong opportunity score of 8 out of 10.
A solid score.
Yeah. There's a continuously growing demand driven by the increasing reliance on data-driven marketing and, crucially, ever stricter advertising laws that demand complete transparency and accuracy. It's a field that will only continue to expand as data becomes even more central to business strategy and consumer trust.
Precisely. The ability to audit, validate, and verify statistical claims is a high-value skill that not only ensures compliance and mitigates risk, but also fundamentally protects a company's bottom line and its most valuable asset, its credibility. It's a quiet but profoundly impactful role in ensuring integrity in public discourse.
Okay, next up, let's talk about the unsung hero of the internet, maybe the emergency service for websites, the WordPress support technician.
Ah, the digital plumbers.
Yes.
Keeping the pipes flowing online.
Exactly. If you've ever found your personal blog suddenly looking, completely broken at 3 a.m., or if your small business website inexplicably crashed right before a big sales event, pure panic mode, you've probably wondered, who fixes this? Is there a website superhero out there?
Someone has to answer the call.
Well, yes, there is, and this remote role is it. As a WordPress support technician, you're on the front lines, helping individuals and small businesses troubleshoot and fix their WordPress websites. This includes diagnosing and resolving tricky plugin issues, and there are thousands of plugins fixing theme conflicts, dealing with the infamous white screen of death, and essentially acting as a website doctor or an IT superhero for countless online ventures.
It's a vital service for so many businesses.
It really is. And here's why the demand is so incredibly high, almost astronomically high. WordPress powers an astounding 43% of all websites globally.
That number is just staggering when you think about it.
It's hard to even grasp. Nearly half the internet runs on WordPress. This massive market share, coupled with its continuous growth as more individuals and small businesses move online or update their sites, ensures constant, undeniable demand for skilled individuals who can keep these digital presences running smoothly.
It's not just a trend. It's basically critical internet infrastructure at this point.
Absolutely. It's a fundamental part of the internet's infrastructure.
And if we connect this to the bigger picture, this role isn't just about technical fixes like resetting a password or something simple. It's about enabling the very backbone of countless small businesses and individual creators to maintain their online presence, which is increasingly vital for their survival and success in today's digital economy.
Their website is their business, often.
Often, yes. WordPress is a truly massive, dynamic ecosystem, and with that scale comes complexity, customization, and the inevitable need for specialized technical support. Things break, things conflict, things get hacked. It powerfully demonstrates how even for a widely used, seemingly accessible platform like WordPress, specialized technical assistance remains incredibly valuable, consistently in demand, and crucial for empowering countless online ventures. It's about ensuring that the digital storefront remains open and functional 24/7.
Exactly. The impact of a down website for a small business can be catastrophic: lost sales, lost credibility, which means your role as a support tech is incredibly important. Now, pay-wise, at the entry level, a WordPress support technician can expect to start around $42,000 annually.
Okay, respectable start.
Yeah. And with some dedicated experience, maybe specializing in certain complex plugins like WooCommerce for e-commerce or security, and just a growing ability to tackle more complex issues that can comfortably reach $63,000 a year. The essential skills you absolutely need include solid, practical WordPress knowledge, how to navigate its backend inside and out, manage plugins effectively, understand themes and child themes.
Got to know the core platform cold.
Cold. You'll also need a basic understanding of HTML and CSS, at least enough for minor tweaks, troubleshooting layout issues, and debugging. Strong problem-solving skills are key. You need to diagnose issues logically and work through potential causes methodically.
It's like detective work again, but for code and settings.
Totally. And crucially, a patient and empathetic customer service mindset. You're often dealing with stressed out, sometimes panicked, clients whose businesses and sometimes their entire livelihoods are on hold because their website isn't working as it should.
Managing that client stress is a big part of the job.
Huge part.
The demand for this role is incredibly stable, precisely because of WordPress's sheer market dominance and its continuous evolution. New versions, new features, new security threats all the time. The pros are compelling. Constant demand ensuring job security. The potential to even lead to business ownership if you decide to go freelance and build your own WordPress support agency. Many people do.
That's a common path, right? Start in support, then build an agency.
Very common. And often the flexibility of remote work hours. You can often set your own schedule, especially if you're handling non-emergency tasks or working for a global company with follow-the-sun support. However, the cons are important considerations. It can indeed require odd hours, especially for those emergency fixes when a critical e-commerce site goes down at 2 a.m. during a sale.
Yeah, the dreaded middle of the night call.
Right. You constantly need to stay updated with the latest WordPress core changes, plugin updates, theme developments, and especially security vulnerabilities. It's a rapidly moving target.
Constant learning curve.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it can absolutely be stressful during those high-stakes emergencies when a client's livelihood literally hangs in the balance and they're breathing down your neck. It requires both technical acumen and a very calm demeanor under pressure.
Definitely. That urgency can be a significant challenge, but I imagine the payoff of helping someone get their crucial business back online must feel pretty good.
Very rewarding, I'd imagine.
Overall, we're giving this one a high opportunity score of 9 out of 10. That massive market share of WordPress, which shows no sign of shrinking, and its continuous growth, mean there's an almost insatiable need for skilled technicians who can keep this vital digital infrastructure running.
The demand is practically built in.
It really is. It's a truly foundational, in-demand role in the digital landscape that offers both stability and, as you mentioned, a clear pathway to entrepreneurship for those with the drive.
It truly is a foundational support role for the internet itself, particularly for the millions of small businesses and individuals who rely on WordPress daily. For someone who genuinely enjoys problem solving, has a knack for technical troubleshooting, and finds satisfaction in directly helping people overcome digital hurdles, this is a very rewarding and secure career path with tangible impact.
Okay, now let's move to something that might sound a little similar to user manual writing at first glance, but is distinctly different and often much, much more lucrative. The documentation writer focusing specifically on internal processes within companies.
Ah, the corporate librarians bringing order to internal chaos.
Exactly. If you've ever worked for a large company, or even a medium-sized one, you've likely experienced the frustration, the wasted time, and sometimes the outright chaos that can ensue if internal processes aren't clearly defined, documented, and easily accessible to everyone who needs them.
Oh, absolutely. Trying to figure out how to submit an expense report or request vacation time in some companies is like solving a puzzle.
Totally. This role is all about turning that internal chaos into order, making the company actually run efficiently. As an internal documentation writer, you create the essential internal guides for companies. You're responsible for writing detailed process guides, comprehensive standard operating procedures, SOPs, as they're often called, onboarding manuals for new employees, knowledge base articles, policy documents, essentially organizing all critical institutional knowledge within a corporate setting.
Capturing that crucial how we do things here knowledge.
Precisely. You could humorously think of it as being a corporate Marie Kondo, like you hinted. But instead of organizing physical clauses, you're meticulously organizing a company's vast repository of information, ensuring everything is in its right place, easy to find, and, sparks productivity instead of confusion.
Making a company run smarter, not just harder.
That's the goal.
And this role highlights the often unseen, yet absolutely critical infrastructure of modern organizations. In an era of rapid technological change, the rise of hybrid and fully remote workforces, and the constant need for businesses to scale efficiently, well-documented internal processes are simply non-negotiable.
They seem more important than ever with remote teams.
Absolutely critical. They're essential for operational efficiency, ensuring regulatory compliance in many industries, standardizing training programs so everyone gets the same information, and facilitating the smooth and rapid onboarding of new employees, which saves a ton of time and money. This isn't just an administrative function, it's the silent engine that keeps large businesses running smoothly. It prevents costly errors, reduces redundant efforts because people aren't reinventing the wheel, and ensures consistency across departments and locations.
Building the company's memory, almost.
Exactly. It's about building and preserving an institutional memory and a clear operational framework that allows a company to not just operate effectively day to day, but to innovate and grow without constantly getting bogged down by internal inefficiencies. The value of this function is truly immense, impacting every single facet of a large enterprise.
And the pay for that immense value, despite the role sounding potentially dry to some, is truly impressive. This is where it really stands out. The compensation for an internal documentation writer typically starts around $69,000 annually.
That's a very strong starting salary.
It is. But with a few years of experience, a proven ability to distill complex information from various sources, and maybe a knack for process improvement alongside the writing, you can reach up to a truly staggering $125,000 a year.
Wow, $125K for documentation.
Yes. This is consistently one of the highest paying, writing-focused remote roles available outside of maybe highly specialized marketing copywriting. I even recall a powerful anecdote of a former pharmacy technician who, during the career shifts brought on by the pandemic, strategically transitioned into this field.
Interesting pivot. Pharmacy tech to documentation.
Right. They effectively doubled their previous salary almost overnight, all while working entirely from home. That's not just a career change. That's a profound financial and lifestyle transformation driven by finding this niche.
That example powerfully illustrates how transferable skills like organization, meticulous attention to detail from pharmacy work, and crystal clear communication can lead to remarkable career leaps when applied to a high-demand area that many people simply don't consider or even know exists.
Right, they don't even know it's a job title.
Exactly. The key skills for success here are naturally exceptional clear writing ability, making complex things simple, strong organization skills to structure vast amounts of information logically, and crucially, strong interview skills.
Interview skills. Why interviewing?
Because you're often acting as an information archaeologist. You have to interview subject matter experts across different departments, finance, engineering, HR, sales, to extract their specialized knowledge, understand their processes deeply, and then translate it into accessible, actionable documentation for everyone else.
Ah, so you're pulling the info out of people's heads.
Precisely. Process mapping, which is the ability to visually represent and document workflows using flowcharts or diagrams, is also an absolutely essential competency that adds significant value to your skill set in this role.
Right, making it visual, not just text. So the pros for this role are definitely the high pay, consistently regular business hours typically, and it's a rapidly growing field as companies increasingly see operational efficiency and scalability, especially in their remote and hybrid models. They need these documented processes more than ever.
The need is definitely growing.
The cons, however, include the fact that the work can be repetitive if you don't genuinely enjoy the process of refinement and structuring information. You will likely attend a lot of meetings, as gathering accurate information often requires extensive collaboration and stakeholder buy-in.
Lots of chasing down information.
Yeah. And there will likely be multiple revisions as processes inevitably evolve, and the documentation needs to be constantly updated and refined. It's a living document, not a one-and-done task.
Needs constant maintenance.
Exactly. We're giving this one an opportunity score of 8.5 out of 10. It typically has a slightly higher barrier to entry than some other roles we've discussed, as it often benefits from some corporate experience or a clear demonstration of organizational aptitude and maybe project management skills. But the significantly higher pay potential makes it incredibly attractive for those who excel at bringing order to corporate complexity.
It's a role that demands intellectual rigor, a methodical approach, and a genuine passion for making systems work better. The reward is substantial, both in terms of compensation and the direct measurable impact you have on an organization's operational health, efficiency, and overall success. It's a strategic, not merely administrative function that truly underpins robust business operations.
Okay, moving directly into the absolute heart of the digital age, our next incredibly underrated yet critically important remote career is the database administrator, or DBA.
Ah, the guardians of the digital vault.
Perfect description. We've all heard the phrase, data is the new oil, right? It's widely considered the most valuable commodity in the modern economy. It powers everything from the personalized recommendations you see on Netflix to global supply chains.
Everything runs on data now.
Everything.
Yeah.
But who actually manages, protects, and optimizes all that incredibly valuable resource? Who ensures it's always accessible when needed, but completely secure from threats? That's precisely where the database administrator comes in. In this critically important remote position, you are responsible for maintaining and protecting a company's databases. This means ensuring that vast amounts of data, potentially terabytes or petabytes, are secure from breaches, reliably accessible to the applications and people who need it, and performing optimally at all times so things don't slow down.
Performance is key too. Slow databases, cripple applications.
Totally. Essentially, you're the bank vault manager, as you said, for a company's most critical, often highly sensitive information. Every single piece of data, customer records, financial transactions, product inventory, user interactions on a website relies on your vigilance and expertise. Your work is the absolute bedrock upon which modern businesses are built.
And this raises an absolutely fundamental question about the core importance of data integrity and security in our entire digital economy. Every single click, every transaction, every piece of information that modern businesses rely on hinges entirely on robust, meticulously managed database systems. Think about the catastrophic implications of failure. Data breaches can be utterly devastating. We read about them all the time. They lead to massive financial losses from fines, like GDPR fines, and legal action, irreparable reputational damage, and a complete erosion of customer trust that can kill a company.
Yeah, the fallout from a big breach is massive.
Massive. Therefore, DBAs are not just valuable. They are foundational careers that underpin virtually every single modern business, large or small. This offers immense stability, continuous demand across all industries, and significant growth potential into areas like data architecture or cloud database management. It is truly a critical role that demands unparalleled precision, unwavering vigilance, and a deep understanding of complex data structures and security protocols.
And because of that undeniable critical importance, the compensation for DBAs is truly excellent. Entry-level database administrators, often starting after getting a key certification, can expect to start at about $70,000 annually.
Strong entry point again.
Very strong. And with just a few years of experience and demonstrated expertise in specific database technologies like Oracle, SQL Server, PostgreSQL, or cloud platforms like AWS RDS, that can very comfortably reach up to $121,000 a year.
And potentially higher with specialization.
Oh, yeah. Honestly, there are even higher paying, more specialized roles you can move into further down the line within the broader data management and data architecture fields, easily pushing past 150K or more. Companies are not just looking for DBAs, they are absolutely desperate for them. There's a well-known talent shortage in this area.
High demand, low supply of skilled people.
Exactly. We even had a compelling anecdote from one of our viewers who landed a DBA job with just a certification, no four-year comp sci degree, and some basic prior IT experience. And they are now making a six-figure salary working entirely remotely.
Which certification did they mention?
They specifically mention using the Google Data Analytics Professional Certificate as a direct and effective pathway into getting noticed and landing interviews for data-related roles, eventually leading to the DBA position. It demonstrates again that traditional four-year degrees aren't the only route to these high-value tech positions.
That anecdote powerfully underscores that point. Specialized, industry-recognized certifications are increasingly recognized by employers as valid and highly effective entry points for high-skill, high-demand roles like this. It shows you have specific, practical knowledge.
Demonstrates you can do the job.
Precisely. The key skills for a successful DBA include robust database management knowledge across various platforms, understanding the pros and cons of different systems. Expert proficiency in SQL-structured query language, which is truly the universal language for databases. It allows you to query, manipulate, and manage vast amounts of information.
SQL's non-negotiable, right?
Absolutely non-negotiable. Also, a keen and constantly updated awareness of security protocols and best practices you have to stay ahead of the threats. And exceptional problem-solving skills to diagnose and resolve complex performance issues or data corruption problems quickly and efficiently. You're often the last line of defense against data chaos or disaster.
Right. The pros are clearly the exceptional high salary potential, the excellent job security that comes from being indispensable, and generally consistent regular hours for most maintenance tasks.
But there's a but there, isn't there?
There is. The cons, however, include the definite possibility of being on call for critical, urgent issues, especially if a production database goes down unexpectedly in the middle of the night or on a weekend. Data doesn't sleep.
Yeah, the pager can definitely go off.
It can. There's also an inherently high level of responsibility. As we discussed, the consequences of a data breach or major data loss are profoundly serious, impacting both the company and its customers significantly. That's a lot of pressure.
Huge weight on your shoulders.
And because technology evolves so rapidly in the database world, it requires a constant commitment to learning to keep up with the latest database systems, new versions, cloud services, security threats, and optimization techniques. You can't rest on your laurels.
Continuous learning is essential.
Despite these significant challenges, we're giving the database administrator role an incredibly high opportunity score of 9.5 out of 10. It is a critically important role, offering very high pay, experiencing growing demand across all industries, and boasting surprisingly accessible entry points via specialized certifications for motivated individuals willing to put in the work.
It's a testament to how absolutely crucial infrastructure roles are often overlooked by the masses chasing maybe front-end development or app design. But these roles provide extraordinary long-term career stability, financial reward, and significant intellectual challenge. If you're someone who thrives on precision, enjoys complex problem-solving, is meticulous about security, and is committed to managing and safeguarding vast amounts of critical information, this is an incredibly powerful and future-proof career path in the digital economy.
Okay, next up, prepare to meet the true fortune teller with a calculator. The actuarial analyst.
Ah, the masters of risk and probability.
Exactly. If you've ever wondered who precisely calculates the odds of all the bad things happening, from a simple fender-bender car accident involving two cars to assessing the financial risk of massive natural disasters like hurricanes or earthquakes for huge insurance companies, this is that person.
They quantify the likelihood of misfortune.
Perfectly put. In this highly specialized and intensely analytical position, you rigorously analyze risk and probability for insurance companies, pension funds, and sometimes other financial institutions. You're creating incredibly complex financial models based on historical data and statistical projections. You're not just predicting the weather, you're predicting financial storms, how likely they are, how severe they might be, and designing the financial umbrellas, like insurance policies or pension funding levels, that protect against them. Think of it like a much, much more numbers-focused and arguably maybe more boring to outsiders, a version of the movie The Big Short.
Less Hollywood glamour, more spreadsheets.
Way more spreadsheets. Your work directly impacts how insurance premiums are set. Why does one person pay more for car insurance than another? How are pension fund contributions calculated to ensure retirees get paid? How much money does an insurer need to keep in reserve to cover potential claims from a major catastrophe? Ultimately, your calculations affect the profitability and solvency of multi-billion-dollar corporations.
It's a huge responsibility, ensuring financial stability for massive systems.
Huge! It's an intellectual challenge that blends advanced mathematics, statistics, and probability theory with real-world financial risk assessment.
And what's truly fascinating here, I think, is how these abstract mathematical principles and sophisticated statistical modeling techniques translate directly into real-world financial stability and resilience for massive global industries like insurance and pensions. Actuaries are the unseen architects of financial resilience. They are the absolute bedrock upon which the entire insurance sector and much of the pension system operates. Their work is a profound testament to the power of applied quantitative skills.
It really makes math concrete.
It does. They are absolutely essential for insurance companies to accurately price policies so they remain competitive but solvent, manage vast and complex risk portfolios, ensure long-term solvency so they can actually pay claims decades down the line, and even advise on investment strategies for those huge pools of reserve capital. This role powerfully emphasizes why deep theoretical knowledge, when rigorously applied with discipline, can translate into substantial practical and financial value, preventing financial chaos and protecting countless individuals and businesses from unforeseen events.
And when we talk about financial value translating to salary, this role is truly a standout. The salary for an actuarial analyst starts at an incredibly impressive $95,000 a year, and that's often for folks who are just starting the rigorous certification process, maybe having passed one or two initial exams.
95K starting is phenomenal.
It's huge. And for those who achieve full actuarial certification, becoming a Fellow of the Society of Actuaries, FSA, or a similar designation, which takes years of passing incredibly difficult exams, the compensation can reach an astounding $152,000 annually, plus significant performance-based bonuses on top of that.
Wow, that's serious money.
It really is. The pay is genuinely exceptional, reflecting the rigorous intellectual demands, the years of study required, and the critical importance of the role. According to Investopedia, actuaries spend the vast majority of their day doing exactly what you'd expect. Building those intricate financial models in Excel or specialized software, manipulating massive data sets, analyzing trends, and actually applying the advanced math skills they've painstakingly learned.
So they actually use the hard math.
Yes, this is truly one of the few professions where your advanced calculus, statistics, and probability theory knowledge directly and tangibly pays off in your daily work and your paycheck.
The skills needed for this profession are, as you might guess, incredibly demanding. You need truly exceptional mathematical ability, sophisticated statistical analysis and modeling capabilities way beyond basic stats. Absolute mastery of Excel is table stakes, often supplemented by programming skills in R or Python for data analysis, and very strong analytical and problem-solving skills to anticipate, quantify, and figure out how to mitigate complex, often unprecedented financial risks.
Sounds intense.
It is. The pros are unequivocally the very high salary potential, a remarkably stable and consistently in-demand career path. Insurance and risk aren't going away, and the fact that it's a highly respected and intellectually stimulating profession within the financial world. It's a career that often attracts individuals who genuinely love solving complex puzzles and thrive on deep intellectual challenge.
Indeed. However, the cons are equally significant, and they are precisely what keeps the competition relatively low despite the high pay. It involves an incredibly difficult and notoriously rigorous certification process.
The exams are legendary for their difficulty, right?
Yeah, legendary. It requires passing multiple, multi-hour comprehensive exams over several years, often while working full-time. This isn't just a few online quizzes. These are intense, comprehensive examinations that test deep mathematical, statistical, financial, and regulatory knowledge. The pass rates are often quite low.
Requires incredible discipline and study habits.
Incredible discipline. The work itself, while intellectually stimulating for the right person, can also be quite repetitive, focusing heavily on data analysis, model building, and refinement. And there's a heavy mental workload that demands sustained concentration and precision. It is certainly not for the faint of heart or those who shy away from intense, prolonged study and pressure.
Definitely a specific type of person thrives there.
Absolutely. Nevertheless, we're giving the actuarial analyst role an opportunity score of 9 out of 10. There's high, consistent demand, exceptionally high pay, and relatively low competition, specifically because of those rigorous math requirements and the grueling certification process. If you genuinely love numbers, thrive on complex problems, are highly disciplined and willing to commit to serious, long-term study, this is a hidden gem that offers unparalleled financial security and deep intellectual fulfillment.
It's a career that profoundly rewards deep analytical thinking, meticulous attention to detail, and a commitment to continuous learning and professional development. It provides not just substantial financial security, but also a lifelong intellectual challenge for those who are drawn to it. It's about building a career on the very foundations of risk and probability.
Okay, next, let's talk about the lead management coordinator, who effectively acts as the crucial sales traffic controller for businesses.
Making sure potential customers don't get lost in the shuffle.
Exactly. Every company, especially those with dedicated sales teams or even just significant marketing efforts, generates tons of sales leads. These are potential customers who've shown some level of interest. Maybe they downloaded an ebook, filled out a contact form, attended a webinar.
The inflow from marketing efforts.
Right. But here's the crucial question. What happens to those leads after they're generated? Who makes sure they don't just fall through the cracks, get lost in an overflowing salesperson's inbox, or simply sit unaddressed for days or weeks until they lose interest?
That leakage can cost businesses a fortune.
A fortune. That's precisely what a lead management coordinator does. They prevent that leakage. In this remote role, you are responsible for meticulously tracking, organizing, qualifying, and managing all incoming sales leads. Your job is to ensure that every potential customer receives proper, timely follow-up from the right person on the sales team and is smoothly guided through the initial stages of the sales funnel.
Routing the right lead to the right rep at the right time.
Exactly. You're the person who ensures that the sales team has the right information about the lead, where they came from, what they're interested in at the right time, and that no potential opportunity is wasted due to poor organization or slow response times. You're building the crucial bridge between marketing efforts that generate leads and actual revenue generation from sales.
And this raises an important question about the fundamental efficiency of modern sales processes. In today's highly competitive market, where buyers have so many options, speed and personalization matter immensely. No lead can afford to be wasted.
First mover advantage, almost.
In a sense, yes. Responding quickly and relevantly is key. Every single interested prospect represents a potential sale and directly impacts a company's bottom line. This role, while it might seem administrative on the surface, just moving names around, is absolutely vital for revenue generation and directly impacts a company's financial health. It's the critical link between the marketing team's investment to attract attention and the sales team's efforts to close deals. It ensures that the investment in lead generation actually yields tangible results, not just a list of names that goes nowhere.
Makes marketing accountable, in a way.
It does. It also provides invaluable feedback to marketing about lead quality. And it's an excellent entry point into the world of sales operations, offering broad insight into the entire customer journey, marketing campaign effectiveness, and the sales life cycle within a company.
Now, looking at compensation, the base pay for a lead management coordinator typically starts around $54,000 annually.
Okay, similar starting point to the funeral sales specialist.
Right. With a few years of experience, a demonstrated ability to optimize lead routing processes, maybe some expertise in specific CRM systems, and a knack for high-volume organization, it can comfortably reach up to $83,000. And importantly, there are often additional commission or bonus opportunities depending on how closely the role is tied to lead qualification quality, lead conversion rates, or overall sales team quotas within that particular company.
So there's potential upside based on performance.
Definitely. It's also one of those roles that's relatively accessible to get into compared to, say, an actuary. Many positions require little to no prior direct experience in this specific role, focusing more on strong organizational aptitude, attention to detail, and good communication skills.
Transferable skills are key again.
Very much so. Even if some experience is desired, it can often be gained relatively quickly through freelancing for small businesses who desperately need help managing their leads, or even doing some pro bono or low-cost gigs just to build a portfolio and demonstrate your capabilities with CRM tools in a practical way.
The essential skills for success in this role are, number one, strong, almost obsessive organization skills. You're keeping track of potentially hundreds or thousands of leads and their statuses simultaneously.
Guy loves spreadsheets or databases.
You do. Significant experience with CRM software customer relationship management platforms like Salesforce, HubSpot, Zoho CRM, etc. is usually essential. These are the backbone systems for how companies track every single interaction with their potential and current customers.
Knowing the CRM is probably the biggest technical skill.
It is. Effective and clear communication abilities are also needed, as you'll be interacting constantly with the sales teams, maybe marketing teams, and sometimes even directly with leads for initial qualification. And having at least a basic understanding of sales principles and the typical stages of a sales funnel is very helpful.
Hmm.
The pros are significant. It's a growing field as sales processes become more data-driven and optimized. It's consistently remote work friendly, as the work is primarily system-based. And it offers a clear career path into broader sales operations management, sales analysis, marketing automation, or even transitioning into a direct sales role yourself if you find you enjoy that side of things. It's a dynamic entry point into a company's revenue engine.
However, the cons are equally important to consider. It can be stressful due to the sheer volume of leads you might be managing, and the constant need for timely follow-up speed is often critical. Missing a follow-up can mean losing a deal.
High volume, high pressure sometimes.
Exactly. It absolutely requires strong multitasking abilities, as you'll often be juggling leads from different campaigns, different sources, different levels of urgency, all at the same time. And there's often an inherent sales pressure, even if you're not directly closing deals yourself. Your efficiency and accuracy directly impact the sales team's ability to hit their targets, and they'll let you know if leads aren't flowing correctly.
You feel the pressure from the sales team.
For sure. We're giving this one an opportunity score of 7.5 out of 10. While there's high demand across various industries, any company with a sales team needs this function. The competition is maybe moderate compared to some of the more highly specialized roles we've discussed, simply because the entry barrier is a bit lower. But it's still a solid, accessible, and financially rewarding option for those who thrive in a fast-paced, organized, process-driven environment.
It's a perfect role for someone who is extremely detail-oriented, enjoys process management and optimization, is comfortable learning and using technology like CRMs, and wants to be an integral and directly impactful part of a company's revenue generation machine. Its direct contribution to the bottom line ensures its continued relevance and demand in virtually any business that sells something.
Okay, finally, let's tackle a job title that often elicits immediate confusion and maybe a quizzical look: the data taxonomy specialist.
Right. Sounds very academic or scientific, like classifying butterflies.
Exactly. When I first heard data taxonomy specialist, my initial thought was genuinely, what the heck is that? Does it involve, like, stuffing data animals? And that sense of confusion, for many people, is precisely why it's such an incredibly underrated and, surprise, surprise, surprisingly lucrative remote opportunity.
The mystery creates the niche.
It really does. In this highly specialized and increasingly critical remote position, you are responsible for organizing and classifying vast amounts of data for large companies. It's not about stuffing animals. It's about creating systematic frameworks, logical structures, controlled vocabularies, and clear hierarchies for categorizing and labeling information. You're essentially a master librarian, as you hinted, but for the digital age. You're bringing order to the ever-growing, often chaotic piles of digital data that businesses collect: daily product information, customer feedback forms, research documents, website content, internal reports, everything.
Building the digital card catalog, but much more complex.
Much more complex. You build the pathways, the metadata structures, the tagging systems that allow people and computer systems like search engines or AI algorithms to find, understand, relate, and effectively use that data.
So it's foundational for data retrieval and analysis.
Absolutely foundational.
And if we connect this to the broader picture, in an information-rich world where data is constantly being generated at an unprecedented rate from countless sources, the ability to find, organize, and make coherent sense of that data is absolutely paramount for any modern organization. Without proper classification and a clear taxonomy, a defined structured data quickly becomes a chaotic mess. It becomes unusable for analysis, unreliable for decision-making, and often impossible for even basic retrieval. You just have this giant data swamp.
Data swamp is a good term for it.
It is. This role isn't just about putting labels on things. It's about building the very architecture of knowledge within an organization. It enables much smarter business intelligence and decision-making because you can actually find related data. It significantly improves internal search capabilities, saving countless hours of employee time, and it vastly increases overall operational efficiency. It's truly foundational for any data-driven enterprise and a crucial component of robust data governance, ensuring data is treated as a valuable, usable asset, not just a messy liability sitting on a server somewhere.
And the compensation for this digital librarian role, this architect of knowledge, is truly impressive, reflecting its highly specialized nature and profound impact on data usability. Entry-level data taxonomy specialists can expect to start around $77,000 annually.
Wow, that's a very high starting point, especially for something most people haven't heard of.
It really is. And with experience, a proven track record of designing effective and scalable classification systems, and perhaps a deep understanding of specific industry data domains like e-commerce product data or medical research data, you can very comfortably reach up to $139,000 a year, and potentially even higher for senior or lead roles or those involved in designing taxonomies for complex AI systems.
That's approaching data scientist salary levels.
It really is. This is consistently one of many high-paying, relatively accessible data-related jobs that offer substantial income without necessarily requiring, say, a PhD in machine learning in every single case. We even heard a fascinating, almost unbelievable anecdote about a 19-year-old on Reddit who landed this exact job data taxonomy specialist with absolutely no traditional college degree.
19 years old, no degree, into a $100 K plus potential role. How?
Just by showing remarkable initiative, teaching themselves relevant skills, like understanding metadata standards, maybe some basic scripting, logical structuring, and demonstrating a strong technical aptitude and a genuine passion for organization and bringing order to chaos, likely through personal projects or contributing to online communities. They apparently now make a six-figure salary just organizing data remotely.
That's incredible. It really underscores the potential.
It powerfully reinforces the possibility of landing these types of high-paying tech and data jobs without needing traditional multi-year college qualifications, especially if you focus relentlessly on practical skill acquisition, building a portfolio, and demonstrating your aptitude.
That anecdote is a powerful illustration of how skill, initiative, and a keen aptitude can absolutely trump traditional credentials in the fast-evolving tech and data world. It's about what you can do. The key skills needed for this role are exceptional organization skills thinking in structures and hierarchies, an almost meticulous attention to detail to ensure consistency in classification across vast data sets. A foundational understanding of databases and how data is structured is very helpful, and sharp analytical thinking to design effective, logical, user-friendly, and scalable classification systems that meet business needs.
Designing the system is the core challenge.
It is. The pros for this role are highly compelling. A super high salary potential, not only within this specific role, but also because it serves as an excellent springboard to other even higher paying data roles like data analyst, data scientist, information architect, or data governance manager. Your understanding of data structure is invaluable. It's a great foundation for a broader data career.
Absolutely. It's also a rapidly growing field as companies drown in data and realize they need structure. And it can be relatively low stress compared to some other high-tech roles, as it's often more about deep thinking, planning, and intellectual organization than high-pressure coding sprints or immediate crisis response like a DBA might face.
More project-based, less emergency-based.
Generally, yes. The cons, though, include that the work can certainly be monotonous if you don't genuinely enjoy detailed classification, meticulous labeling, and logical structuring for hours on end.
Gotta love organizing things.
You really have to love it. It requires constant learning as data structures, industry standards like schema.org, business needs, and the tools used for taxonomy management continuously evolve. And while it's a fantastic entry point into the data ecosystem, there might be somewhat limited advancement within the specific title of data taxonomy specialist itself. You'd typically transition to broader data management, data analysis, or data governance roles for further significant career progression.
It's a specialist role that leads to broader roles.
Exactly. But frankly, making six figures remotely, even in a role some might perceive as boring or tedious, is a very high-quality problem to have, I'd say.
Definitely a first world problem.
Right. Overall, we're giving the data taxonomy specialist role an opportunity score of 9 out of 10. There's consistently high demand, incredibly low competition for truly skilled talent because it's so niche and requires a specific mindset, and companies are absolutely desperate for professionals capable of bringing order, structure, and utility to their vast, messy oceans of data.
It's a powerful example of how bringing order to complexity, literally building the very scaffolding of digital knowledge within an organization, creates immense and indispensable value for modern enterprises. For those with a methodical mind, a knack for structure, a deep appreciation for the power of organized information, and maybe a background in library science or information management, this is a highly secure, intellectually stimulating, and financially rewarding path in the ever-expanding world of data.
So, wrapping this all up, what does this deep dive mean for you, our listener? We've just explored some truly hidden gems in the remote job market. These are roles that often fly completely under the radar. They don't get the flashy headlines, but they offer incredible stability and genuinely substantial financial reward.
Yeah, the common thread is that underlying essential business need.
Exactly. The key takeaway from all of this is really clear, I think. The most profitable, most stable remote jobs might genuinely surprise you. They're often the ones perceived as boring, the essential behind the scenes functions that are constantly hiring, precisely because they face low competition, because fewer people are looking there, and they fulfill critical business needs that are often overlooked by the masses chasing the next shiny object.
It's where that high, consistent demand consistently meets unexpected, often uncontested opportunity. This deep dive truly highlights how understanding genuine market demand, really looking at what businesses need to function, even for roles that aren't widely publicized or perceived as traditionally exciting or glamorous, can unlock incredible financial stability and sustainable long-term career growth. It challenges us, I think, to reconsider what success truly looks like in the modern workforce. It encourages us to look beyond the flashy headlines and the social media hype, and instead to find immense and enduring value in the indispensable roles that quietly, yet powerfully, keep our economy and our businesses running smoothly every single day. These roles aren't just jobs, they really are foundational pillars.
So perhaps it's time for you to maybe redefine what a dream job looks like in your own mind. Maybe it's not about the glamour, maybe it's about the stability, the pay, and the indispensability. Consider where true sustainable opportunity truly lies, maybe in these quiet, essential, and sometimes surprisingly lucrative corners of the remote job market. Thanks for watching this. See you in the next episode. Like, subscribe, and share.